Got a new question. This week's question is from T. Hi, T. T says, Dear Erica, first I have to say that I love your website, and let me say thank you for all the help that you've given me. The recipes, information on cleaning. I'm not going to read all that, but thank you, T. I do what I can. She says, do you still log all of your food and count calories, or do you find that now that you are educated and knowledgeable about food, you no longer have to journal and count calories? Is there ever a point that it becomes unnecessary because of good eating habits, or would you recommend continuing even after healthy eating habits are a lifestyle? That's kind of a thick question. Let me see what I can do here. Do I still log all of my food and count calories? No. Here's my thought pattern as far as calorie counting is concerned. I am a very, very major league supporter of calorie counting. However, I don't use it in the same way that the average person uses it when it comes to calorie counting. There are some people who live and die by that last 3 calories and making sure that they have everything as accurate as possible. That's, measuring cups, that's scales, that's all of that. And I'm not against that, but I'll put it like this. When I first started learning to cook and when I first gave up processed foods, I needed to know what a cup of something looked like. I needed to understand what a tablespoon of something looked like. And so I spent a lot of time measuring things, and I did a lot of baking in the beginning because I needed to know, well, aside from the fact that I needed to know that yes, you use 2 cups in a loaf of flour, or a loaf of flour, that you use 2 cups in a loaf of bread, or that you use that you use 2 cups of sugar in a cake. I needed to know what a cup looked like. I needed to know what a tablespoon, a half a cup, a third a cup. I needed to know what these things looked like. I needed to know that if I was going to order Alfredo and the plate came with, a half a cup of Alfredo sauce, I needed to know, well, okay, Alfredo sauce is what? Cream, it's butter, it's salt, it might be some parsley depending upon where you get your Alfredo from. How many calories are in the average half cup of cream? How many calories are in a tablespoon of butter? Well, I know that there's about 100 some odd calories in a tablespoon of butter. I know that there's, maybe 60 calories in a tablespoon of cream. Things of that nature help me to decide, do I want to order this? And if I want to order this, how much of it do I want to eat? And I just rattled off random numbers. I know now I don't order anybody's Alfredo, but in the beginning that helped me make more informed decisions. And if I was going to say, YOLO, then to know exactly what I was getting myself into. At the end of the day though, YOLO really means YOLO, and nobody's counting those calories. Does it ever become unnecessary? Yes, because I am a big supporter of something called consent through informed judgment, and that's basically get all the information necessary so that you can make the choices that are best for you. And if you are somebody converting away from processed food and into clean eating, you need to know how many calories are in a tablespoon of oil. You need to get a general idea of how many calories is in the average vegetable, because believe it or not, most of them all have about the same calorie measurements. And it's not that major of a deal. But when it comes time to make the choice between, the lean cuisine and the home version, the home version more often than not is going to win out, but you need to have the math to help make that the most logical choice for you. There is also, however, a point where calorie counting and food journaling becomes necessary again, and that's if you decide to change your body again. Or if you get to a point where you realize I'm picking up weight and don't quite understand why, then you go back to those things so that you can figure out, okay, where am I going wrong? Where am I slipping up? Where am I making this mistake? And I think that calorie counting and food journaling, these are tools that you keep in your arsenal. So that way, when it comes time for you to start maintaining your weight, if something is tripping you up and you find that you're gaining weight, then you can go back to these tools and make sure that you are on top of your game. Because there are days where you will go over, but there are also days where you will be woefully under. And and feel completely fine and feel full. But if you're losing weight or gaining weight, you need to figure out, okay, well, where can I add in something? Where can I subtract? You know, what am I doing wrong? And I think that using calorie counting as a tool as opposed to a crutch is important. So is it something, and I know that lots of people go into calorie counting and they lose weight and then they fear, oh my gosh, I'm gonna have to do this forever, but this is extremely tedious. Yes, it is, but you are using it as a means of informing yourself so that you know what you're getting into when you make random specific purchases and choices in general. So I would say go into your calorie counting and make sure that you are learning from the choices that you are making, and then before you know it, you'll have everything you need so that when it comes time to actually maintain your weight, you will be fine. So that being said, let me know in the comments below what you think about calorie counting. I know there are lots of people who are against it, and I'm curious to hear what you think too. And also, don't forget, subscribe. I want to see your lovely face around here more often. And until next video, smooches. Remember the time when we fell in love. Remember the time.